This week, I came up with an alternate picking exercise that just might level up your skills and help you become the next Shred-Eye Knight. It's really simple, and it uses all 6 types of pick strokes. And yes, I did say all 6. We'll talk about that later. You could take this exercise and apply it to a variety of different patterns, as long as you have 3 strings with 3 notes each on them. To make it super easy for today's video, we're going to be using the top part of that B Dorian Blues hybrid scale thing, this pattern. Play up to the G 3 times in a row. Play up to the B 3 times in a row. High E 3 times in a row. And then back to the B. Put that on loop against a sweet backing track, and you're going to have a real toe-tapping jam that your friends and roommates are never going to get tired of hearing. It's going to sound like this. If you get the pinky police knocking at your door trying to give you a citation for not using the little guy on the end there, just tell them you saw Uncle Ben do it first. Hey kids, it's your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Plain and simple, alternate picking is a pain in the dick for most all of us. And it doesn't help that most of our exercises either focus on way too technical stuff or only cover part of the picture. That's been the case for hundreds of years of guitardom until today, where I'm going to show you guys a great exercise that's going to turn you into a really versatile alternate picker. You're going to get the most out of this video if you grab the downloadable tabs, guitar profiles, and practice tracks that I'm putting up over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Sign up today even for just $1 a month. It's going to get you access to all that good stuff, as well as hundreds of exclusive posts and a community of awesome people like yourself. Folks are calling it the best dollar you can spend a month and a potential cult. And one of those things is true. Find out for yourself over at patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Gear-wise, I wanted to use the best playing guitar in the entire universe today, which is why I picked up my Suhr Modern Satin, and I plugged that into the Friedman JEL50. Yeah, let's get into it. So that bad Larry again at stepdad speed. Here's the thing, guys. Alternate picking is not really all that hard if you're just staying on one string, Dick Dale style. It's navigating the string changes that make it tough. And this is especially tricky when you consider how many guitar scale patterns are based around 3 notes per string. Any odd number of notes per strings means that our picking is going to be flip-flopping every other string, right? It's going to be going from down, up, down, to up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And when you're ascending and descending through a scale pattern like that, those are drastically different mechanics. Your picking has to navigate at a really rapid rate. There's all kinds of other picking exercises out there, but a lot of them just feature one kind of string change. So for example, the popular chromatic exercise that we've all done a million times, well, that'll get you really good at changing strings after upstrokes only, because that's all that exercise features. It doesn't feature any downstroke changes. Today's exercise takes that odd note per string grouping and all the picking mechanics that come along with it and makes it a lot more approachable by giving you 9 notes on every string. That's a little bit more time. It's like a straightaway on each string before you have to negotiate a difficult turn. The turns being the string changes, of course. Now, as you play through this, what I want you guys to really concentrate on is that you're starting each string on the correct pick stroke. Your G is always going to start off on a down. Your B will be starting off on an up. Your high E is a down. And your B is another up. I find it really helps to even say those picking directions out loud when you change strings, like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I always say the human mind is amazing at taking verbal instruction, even if the call is coming from inside the house and it's us giving the instruction, right? If you've ever put together a piece of like IKEA furniture and you're slapping together a Flerbendorf, you're probably looking at that instruction manual that comes with it and you're going, okay, I put the Flugenheim into the Durseldang, and then, you know, you give yourself instructions like that and you actually follow them better when you're saying them out loud. I point this out because I know somebody out there is going to turn this into economy picking, like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's nothing wrong with economy picking. That's just not what we're here to practice. So be sure to say those picking directions out loud as you practice this to make sure you're doing what you think you're doing. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more musical, which you probably do, you could choose any part of a 3-note per string scale pattern and apply it there too. Like for example, you could take this D major scale, which features that same 3-3-3 kind of configuration, and just play up and down those strings instead. Whichever pattern you land on, I also recommend practicing this descending as well to make sure you can keep those hands in sync while you're walking down. It sounds something like this. The great thing about this exercise is it's going to help you get used to all 6 different kinds of pick strokes. I mentioned this earlier on in the video. Here's what I'm talking about, guys. We think of picking as being very binary, right? It's either a downstroke or an upstroke, and that's kind of the only terms that we have. But in my world, there's also specialized string changing pick strokes that I call launchers. Now this is typically where I would veer off into talking about the amazing Troy Grady cracking the code technique set and talk about downward pick slanting, upstrokes, and upwards escape and all that kind of stuff. I've done that a million times and it's amazing. It's the way, the truth, and the light of the Shred-Eye Knight. But I want to address this in a little bit different way because we all find different things that work for us mentally, and this might just be the approach that you need. Here's how to think about it. So the way I think about it, we have the neutral, downstroke, and upstroke. This is the kind of picking motion that we use when we're staying on one string and don't need to worry about changing. It doesn't necessarily have to have any slant to it, although it can if that's just your natural kind of angle. All that it really needs is to feel smooth. You know, if you have the pick really flat against the strings, you might get a lot of resistance like that. This is when a lot of us introduce that thumb bump to help cut through the string a little bit more smoothlier. You gotta know you're doing it right when it feels smooth. It's as simple as that. In addition to those neutral pick strokes, we also have what I call launchers. Launchers are specialized pick strokes that not only sound out a note on the string that we're playing at that moment, but also take us towards the string we're going to be playing next. So for example, if I play up 3 notes here on the D string, and then I need to get to the G, I would do so off of what I call an ascending downstroke. You see how that last downstroke kind of launched away from the face of the guitar? It got me out of the path of the strings. That way I won't hit the G string like that on the way down. It got me out and away from the face of the strings and under the G so that I can do an upstroke. That's our ascending downstroke launcher. Now, if that pattern was reversed and I was playing 3 notes on the G, so I'm ending on a downstroke, going to the D string like that, I would need a descending downstroke. That's that type of launcher. You'll notice again, it's kind of darting away from the face of the guitar and crashing back into the D string with that upstroke. It's doing that in such a way that the downstroke gets out and away from the G, but it doesn't hit it again on the way back. It's kind of a little bit of a hairpin angle like that. That is a very different kind of pick stroke than I would make if I was just doing a downstroke that's sitting on one string. This descending launcher is a very different mechanic physically. So that's 4 out of the 6 pick strokes. We also have our upstroke launchers. So for example, if I played through, let's say 6 notes on that D string, and I was going to the G, I would need my ascending upstroke type launcher. And again, that's an upstroke that's getting out and away from the face of the strings to crash down onto the next string. Yeah, there's pick slanting explanations for all of this stuff, but maybe this verbiage makes it a little bit more easier to understand. So that's my ascending launcher. Again, very different than my kind of neutral upstroke I would make if I wasn't moving. And then there's the opposite of that, the descending upstroke. That's the kind of upstroke I make whenever I'm going from a high string to a low string. This kind of pick stroke is just like an elevator. It takes me out and above the face of the strings so I can crash down on the next string with that downstroke. Neutral down, neutral up. Ascending downstroke, descending downstroke. Ascending upstroke, descending upstroke. Those are the 6 different types of pick motions that we use in our guitar playing. And this exercise can help you get better at all of them. Check it out. Now, you'd get the same effect if you were just practicing through a 3-note per string scale, sure. Like that right there, that's down, up, launch, down, launch, up, down, launch. Which is to say, a whole lot of different kind of motions happening in really rapid succession. This is a huge mistake a lot of guitar players make. They try to build speed by practicing 3-note per string scales. That's starting the game on like extreme difficulty mode, you know? That's too much to worry about, much less build speed off of. So whenever you take this exercise right here, it gives you a really good long time to sit on each string and plan out your next course of action, that downstroke launch in that case. I can see it coming a mile away and be prepared to nail it. Same with that launcher right there. I have such a long straightaway of notes, I can plan ahead a little bit rather than just try to scramble and make all the motions happen, which is what happens when you try to practice a 3-note per string scale before you developed all these skills. Now, if you're anything like the majority of the guitar playing population, you're gonna find that as you practice this exercise, there's certain mechanics that are harder than others. You know, some of you guys might find that ascending downstroke change to be really tough. Some of you might find the descending upstroke to be the tough spot for you. For myself, I find it to be this pick stroke right here actually. Whenever I'm starting off on this upstroke on the B to this downstroke on the D. The way my picking habits have been here lately, I've been kind of toying around with some different ideas with picking. That's kind of been the one that's tricky for me. The descending upstroke is not so bad. The ascending upstroke is my kryptonite. So I found whenever I was practicing this exercise, it really benefited me to isolate just that string. Remember, it's going to be starting off on an upstroke. So I'm going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then what I'm going to do is make this last note on the next string the finish line. And I'm going to put that phrase on repeat. Whenever you practice it that way, rather than just continuing through the exercise, you can make the hard part your entire focus. Really focus on nailing that launcher and getting onto the next string. As I do that, I'm making sure that I'm always starting off on the up and down, finishing on the downstroke. Again, say it out loud. It makes it more effective. Up, down, up, down. Whenever you practice it that way, you can put your full attention into the tricky part, and it makes a huge difference for your playing. Now, I'm putting that pause in there very deliberately. That's there for you to take that time and reflect on what you've done and look and see if you did the pick stroke that you think you did. A lot of us will do that directional picking thing without even thinking about it. And whenever you practice it this way, it gives you time to really go, was that a downstroke or an upstroke, you know? You can just look down and be like, did my pick go below the high E or is it above the high E? That's all you really need to know to make sure you did the correct picking stroke. As you make progress with this exercise, increase the difficulty by making it a shorter straightaway on every string. Still use an odd number of notes, whether that be 3, 5, or 7, but just make it a smaller odd number. So for example, I could play 7s on each string like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on. You could try a 5-note pattern. Or even just straight 3s. Whenever you do a smaller odd number, you're essentially shortening that straightaway we were talking about. The 9-note thing is really long, then you got to make that turn. The 7-note one's a little shorter, and the 3 is almost like a circle track. In other words, you're almost always just changing directions. So take your time with this stuff. This is not something you're gonna build up to in like an afternoon. So really take your time with it. Make sure you're focusing on those launching mechanics. It's really like the last note on every string is what you really need to focus on to master those launchers and become able to alternate pick your way through basically anything. And this is the workout. It's gonna help you do it. So there you go, guys. One of the best alternate picking workouts you can do if you want to become the next Shred-Eye Knight. And I know that you do. You're going to get even more out of this if you practice it along with the downloadable practice tracks, guitar profiles, and tabs over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Don't delay. Sign up today. Thanks so much for watching the video. Be sure to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications, and tell your mom I said hi. As you go through the week, I want you guys to keep a good thought. The world is pretty crazy out there right now. I don't think I need to elaborate any further on that. And it's up to us to change it one act of kindness at a time. So stay positive, do something good for somebody. Let's make the world a better place. Thanks so much for watching the video. It's time to go practice. Get that guitar in those mitts and start mashing some rope. Less clicking, more picking.